Ho, 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 and welcome to the Hunt, Banish, Extract podcast. I am your host, The Drunken Bard, aka DJ. With me are my beautiful co-hosts, Sleepy Weasel, aka Tyler.
Don't call me a hoe again. You called all three of us hoes.
Sir Kaiser, aka Richard.
What a hoe is that?
And we've got two missing members, unfortunately. Reednick and No Mortal Z could not make it. Technical issues in life. But we have a brand new, beautiful co-host. Please welcome the patron saint of 3 stars, aka Rat329.
Speaking of hoes, can Santa give me Hail Mary for Christmas?
No, that's she's
Only if you haven't been naughty. I'm sorry, but this is the only podcast that will tell you that Santa Claus is not real, but it's fun anyway. But
Wait,
What?
he's not real?
Wait,
Santa's
what?
confirmed.
Shit.
What?
You
I thought I told you
shattered my whole
beforehand.
World, Bard.
Hang on.
I need a
before they
minute.
start crying, I have to start moving us right into the next.
Oh, there's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, we got a whole new tide of announced, and now we've got more patch notes than I care to read through in one glance. I wrote a whole shitload for this episode, and boy, is it going to be heavily divisive, because from what I have actually read in the whole community, the community seems to be more heavily divided than I've ever seen because of certain changes to custom ammo, and also specifically just traits are starting to take another turn, which that part's okay. I think it's mostly the guns that are getting everybody upset.
Well, I think really because every patch, I just want to add, they do make their changes, and usually it's like 3 or 4 different things that they change that's like major enough to notice every time you play, and that's when you see people divided about stuff like that normally. But this time, where it's almost everything is changing in some way. It is like this is like the biggest change all at once I've ever seen for this game.
Yeah,
it's actually nuts. It's a lot
I'd
to keep
agree.
up with.
I get it, but I mean the thing is, like, I've noticed a lot of people saying they're like showing that they don't listen to the community with a lot of this stuff, but like the PAX True Shot, I've heard people asking for what, 2 years now.
I'd see nothing but listening to the community, if I'm being honest.
I actually
it's
agree with
nothing
that.
but.
Yeah.
I mean, think about
I do
the
agree.
absolute nerf that is the flash bomb.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is, like, with the new burn traits with Death Cheat and Relentless coming back, like, I know that a lot of people are really divided on that. But if they keep the burn trait drop rate at the exact same as it is right now, and just have it like be a secondary RNG roll that's a 33% chance between the new, like between all 3 of the new burn traits, you have the same chance to get a burn trait in general, and then you still have to split that chance in 3 to actually get Death Cheat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mm.
but they're also updating the traits. The rule of 2 is gone, as far as I understood.
I think I might have forgotten to update it. I have no guarantee that it reaches traits either. I believe that falls under the same category as
I saw and read some things that it was saying under traits, but obviously we'll get that confirmed.
So
That's interesting
I'm
to know.
actually not familiar with the rule of 2. What?
So
what
the
are you
rule of 2,
referring to?
when it's like 2 loots, 2 on every little thing, they're taking that away. Everyone can have a chance in the lobby to loot something.
So then
Yep.
what happens to Vulture? That's interesting, huh?
Just more. I don't remember what Vulture does.
No,
if I'm
I
being honest.
think rule of 2 is only going away on the traits.
Well,
for
Only on the
looting
traits.
dead bodies
I
and
thought it
stuff,
was
it's-
just like everything, so everyone has a chance to loot.
Now, hang on. Because I specifically heard a couple of things, because the rule of 2 is being gotten rid of on envelopes you can get on the wall, the pouches you can grab, or nutsacks, as Rat likes to call them, you fucking pervert. It's also like, I'm not sure about ammo boxes specifically. I imagine that probably
That was the one thing I
balance.
wasn't wasn't
reasons.
sure about. But as far as I could tell, the information that I watched, like I just watched stuff. It wasn't like the
Well-
patch notes specifically, so I could be wrong.
Nonchalant shit like the blueprints and shit, I'm pretty sure is the ones that are getting the change so that the whole team can grab it. I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah, that's
changing
what I
to a
mean.
rule of
Yeah.
3. Yeah.
So
Yeah, that would make
Okay.
sense.
That
from
does
my
make sense, yeah.
understanding, on at least what I saw, is it was just available for everyone in the lobby. But if that's not true, I don't know. That
It's
could be
entirely
the
possible.
case. Yeah, but they're also adding those workbenches, and then they're making it so the progression is entirely reworked, as probably something you were hoping to talk about later.
Yeah.
So
I'm so excited about the
realistically-
new prestige change.
yeah,
I am very conflicted on it for quite a few different reasons. But what were you saying though, Deej?
no, actually, you guys start opening up the discussion with the new prestige change because that's a great opener.
Like, I mean, I get having all the guns available at like level 1.
Mhm.
I get that, especially with the way they're reworking like blueprints. They're going to be a lot more common and stuff, so now you can actually go through the weapons you want faster. But I don't know, like I just think people are going to always be rocking like the sweatier guns now. But then again, I don't know if they're going to rework the cost of guns and stuff like that too. So
in addition to like the like unlocking and stuff, I totally remembered, like, because just the other day I was thinking about gun oil, and it was like it was almost seemed like it was useless at this point. Like, what's the hell's the point? And now they're just changing it to like a blueprint, which is making it useful, but I guess it's whatever. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that personally I think is a welcome change, but I also think it kind of sucks that now we're not going to get shared XP between guns.
I
even if
think
you
the
don't
shared
have them.
XP is a mistake. Like, if you
Yeah,
look
I
at
don't like
agree.
that. I don't
That's
like
The
a
amount
that.
of shit that I've unlocked without even playing the gun for an entire prestige
because
is insane.
But
the
like
reason
in a good way,
why-
it's not like unbalanced. It's like,
the reason why I feel it's a mistake,
especially
is
with all the
because-
weird challenges we get like weekly.
Exactly.
Like,
Yep.
mhm.
Because the thing is,
And
like,
that really helps
you play
a
with
lot
friends of various degrees, like skill ranges. You have so much skill variation and play styles that are so different. Like, I can't hit with some guns, whereas you guys can, and so that always helped me with my challenges and things like
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I mean,
And
I can't hit anything, and Bard just kind of carries me. So
I don't know. The last few times that I've played, it's been Drake who's been carrying us, and then I carry when he stops being good.
I usually miss completely unless I hit their head, and then I'm like always hitting their head for some reason. I don't know why.
Then I just pull out my wild cards and, like, just fuck shit up.
Clutch, yeah.
Wild card, bitches.
Yep. Yeah, I just think that specifically though, with like the shared XP, especially with the way that
that's a
they've been
mistake.
doing challenges and stuff,
Change your
don't-
challenges if you're going to change the shared
right, yeah,
progression.
because
Yeah.
that has really helped with our
But
challenges.
I think that they're just doing away with shared XP for guns. They're not going to change anything about
That's what I'm
shared progression
saying.
on
I can't really
challenges.
try the later guns
Right.
if it's like that. I mean, granted,
Yeah,
they have
like-
benches in there for progression,
You
but
know how
you're not
often
always going to do that.
you know how often it's like you just prestiged and it's like in the week just reset, and then the first challenge you guys do this much damage with slugs. It's like,
Uh-huh.
well, I'm not
And
going to
it's
be
a
able to do
lot.
that until like
It's a
level
lot.
60 or something. What the hell? Like,
Yeah,
but like
it's a lot.
yes, your friends can still help you, but your friends, the whole point of the shared gun XP was your friends could help you get guns faster so you could get challenges done like sooner.
Yeah. I mean, maybe
Because
that's
not
just
only
what
do you
we
get
used it
XP,
for. Maybe
you
that
unlock
was the
stuff with
intention.
it. So yeah, I don't know. I that is probably my biggest
So-
gripe on it. But
I guess it's like it's remains to be seen in a sense, because those workbenches seems like they're really trying to push those for progression rather than just using the guns to unlock things. Obviously, that's how it works, but if you have enough of those, then you can
then
still
what's
get
yeah?
have
And then
access
what's
to the new guns.
then
So,
then you still don't have to be super skillful, which is good.
exactly.
I think
So
having
it's
more
like,
options is better than less, but I still don't think they should take away the shared.
yeah, yep.
gun
I think
speed.
that's something we probably agree on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, if it's shared progression over shared weapon XP, I'm all for it. Just don't just like I don't like unlocking gun variants and stuff when I haven't been using that gun at all, but it definitely helps when your friend's like, "Oh, I've got slugs, I'll slap those on."
You're right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's just really nice and helpful because it feels more like a team game at
Yeah,
that point.
exactly.
Because
Like you're helping each other out.
helping each other out to win
Yeah.
and to get out of the bayou. So,
Yeah, exactly.
And now that you guys have opened that can of worms, because I had a small conversation with Weasel a little bit earlier, and you know what? One thing that is actually a huge change, but obviously, since there's a conflicting opinion between a lot of people, we've got the Prestige being completely overhauled.
and we knew
Which-
that was coming. So,
Yes, we did have an idea of what the hell was going to happen, and we knew that Prestige was going to get an overhaul overall. But the fact that all guns were going to be at the base one
mhm.
without any of the special ammos or the variants, those are what you need to unlock. But even so much as a Dulce is
Mhm.
unlocked at level 1.
Yep.
I personally, I want to come out with a very controversial opinion to Mr. Tyler, but I definitely think that this is a nice change, which might surprise you, but
Oh, I love it.
I think that this adds to a lot of people's fun. I think it adds to, like, I love to take prestige challenges personally, but I would like to hear from you, Tyler. What is bothering you so much?
It's on the grand scheme of things, like I mentioned earlier, I really don't think this is going to change much that we're going to notice
No.
from other players. I think people are still
Yeah.
going to be rocking the same stuff they usually do.
Yep.
I'm just more concerned that, I guess, especially for people who like to MMR drop and like screw with people who are just starting out, they're going to use like their sweaty guns and like really wreck them, and it's just going to alienate
Oh.
people more away from the game.
I guess the question I would have is like, isn't the whole point of this to get people to prestige more because they'll have access to the guns right at the start? Isn't that the idea?
Right, like,
like-
so now the prestige is just like, it's just kind of like the only thing you're really going for prestige now is just to say, hey, I'm this level prestige now, instead of actually working toward like, oh, I can't wait to get this gun unlocked on this prestige because then I can start using it and I'll start getting good again. Like, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
Well, I
like
mean,
the
for,
progression felt like it was actually progression, if that makes sense.
The only thing I would say about that is that you only can work on like very little amounts of guns with each prestige because you're like, oh,
Right, and
I
that's
can't
the
really
other
do
thing.
this, so I'm gonna do sparks
That-
this time or the winnies or something like that.
And that's the other thing, because it's like people now can actually try their guns out before they freaking have to prestige and not be able to try them out. So in that sense, of course, it's great. I think it's really good, and as long as they don't like rework like the cost of guns, you're not going to see people really abusing. I'm going to use the sweaty guns at level 1 because you only start with what, 4,000 or something. So
yeah, you start with 4,000.
yeah.
Well, what I'm thinking is like,
Or nitros.
I think it's a great change because now all of those levels where you were unlocking different weapons, they might put blood bonds or something in there because there was all of that backlash over them removing the all that
I
blood
doubt
bond
that,
stuff
but
from like
that would
Dark.
be pretty cool.
That would be nice, but having said that,
that's
the Dark Tribute does give you a lot more blood bonds nowadays. So I think
true,
that
but it
was
would be
kind of
more
nuts.
incentive to continue prestiging because people would go through all those levels. They'd get like 5-10 blood bonds every couple of levels, and then once they hit 100, they're like, oh, I can't reacquire those unless I prestige. So then they prestige, and then they go through it to get the blood bonds again.
Yeah,
but
I think that would be a good way to.
They got to make people buy the battle pass though to buy blood bonds, right? I'm just
Also
kidding.
true, but but no, like my issue with the old prestige system is that my favorite weapon to run in general is the bomb lance.
Oh
And
Which is
yeah,
a
you
later
didn't get
love
it.
that
unlock,
gun.
yeah.
Yeah, you didn't even get it until level 78, which only gave you 12 levels or 13 or 23 levels or something like that to use the
22, yeah.
gun. Yeah, 22 to use the bomb lance until you were able to prestige again. And if you're a prestige whore like I am,
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
don't
basically
I
never
don't like
got
to
to use it.
I don't like to just sit at level 100 because I feel like I'm not working towards anything. So,
Yeah,
Yeah, and
if
it's
there's
kind of
not that
nice.
dopamine of getting levels, I'm like, I'm done with this gun.
Well, it
with
was
this
like
game.
the idea of prestiging early on. You would get a free legendary and whatnot, and then it became every 5 or 10 levels or whatever it was at certain ones. So it's
I
like
think I've
you
got the
earned that.
progression for that here. Let me look.
Yeah,
I'm about
yeah,
to
it's
unlock
like
50
it's like
laurels.
up to
So.
10 or something like that, and then it's like either
Yeah, 10 you get a set one, and then I think it's every 10.
25 is something.
Yeah, and then
and
20 you
then
get something, then 25, and then 30, 40, and then 50 you get a set one.
yeah,
So it's like
they're,
every
they're
10.
very specific later on, which I get, but I was hoping for more legendary unlocks. It's like, why does this tab even show if I can't get any more?
Yeah, it looks
I'm
like
just
prestige
excited.
1 through
Laurels.
5 or 1 through 10 all give you a legendary
Yep.
if you choose it.
I think that was
Uh,
awesome, like incentive to prestige for me. I was like,
Then
cool, look at all
Absolutely.
prestige
these
10
new
is Golden
hunters.
Ticket. Prestige 5 is Louisiana Lustrum. Prestige 25 is Silver Quarter Quad Derringer. 50 is 50 Laurels and 100 Centenary. So between 50 and 100, you don't get a special legendary.
You just get random legendaries every 10 levels, I think is what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, it's just every 10 levels.
That's okay. That's okay.
It's
I didn't know
better
that.
than nothing. So
Oh,
Yeah, it's better than
1
nothing.
through 4, 6 through 9, 20, 30, 40, 50, or 40, 60, 70. So it completely skips 50 because of the
because of 50
50
laurels,
laurel.
yeah. Hmm.
So yeah. Yeah, it's every 10.
Yeah, that's not so bad.
See,
But-
and the thing was with having all of our guns too, how we were saying that the shared XP is gonna hurt us some challenges. At least having all the guns unlocked at the beginning is gonna help.
You have a
with that too.
possibility of like
Yeah.
trying to use it.
Yeah, exactly. So
I
that's
do
another
think they should
positive.
allow more reshuffles, though, if I'm being honest. I don't like that
Yeah.
they give you one and then basically it's like, oh, you did your one, that's it. And it's like,
I-
okay, can I spend hunt dollars or something? Not
Yeah, it
blood
wouldn't
bonds,
even
that
be
would be
bad if they were
baloney.
like, spend like 5 blood bonds for an extra reshuffle. Like it would be a little
Hey,
harsh, and it would incentivize not doing it.
I think they're
Make
done
the-
with doing that because of the way they reworked the blood bonds to be separate from the way that the
Right.
hunt dollars are. So I think it should be hunt dollars either way, but I think it would be okay. I'd be willing to spend like
Yeah.
100
I
to
completely
basically
agree.
be like, either I
Uh,
can buy a weapon or some tools, or I can reshuffle a challenge and get my challenge done and get those blood bonds that I really want. It would
Yeah.
incentivize like just playing the game, basically being like, I don't want to do this challenge. I really hate this challenge.
yeah.
'Cause
So
so many times I get like 2 that I'm like, I can't do this. And that's also why, like I said, shared XP for those challenges
mhm.
needs to stay a thing.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. But yeah, I think I pretty much already voiced my concerns as far as that prestige rework goes. But when I
Yeah,
first heard it, I was like, "Excuse me."
yeah, it's
What?
kind of weird. Like, I mean, I guess it's kind of like more like Call of Duty. Once you like, get all the guns, you have all the guns type of thing.
Yeah,
So
I
Yeah.
mean they're. I mean, I don't want to get into the way Call of Duty is right now.
yeah,
But
I don't.
their
I don't
leveling system
understand
is
it.
god awful right now. So
Yeah, and
With
then
their 10-minute
Prestige, it
campaign.
didn't seem like there was didn't seem like their Prestige really did much either. With Hunt, I think the prestiging feels like it's part of the
yeah,
experience.
it's like I don't know, like yeah, like with Hunt, it's I don't know, Prestige is different. Yeah, I know. I don't know what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say, but I do agree with you. So
Speaking of, I still think it'd be really interesting if they implemented some sort of dog tag system, because you could just have them pick up like the medal from your character that is the icon for your prestige with your name on it.
yeah, it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, just like
Just like
you
a
kill
little like hey, check this out.
yeah, you
just-
kill a
just
prestige
who you
100,
killed.
and then
Yeah,
it's
who
just
you
like
killed.
Yeah, give us like a separate tab that's like,
That would be
a trophy case, and it's
mean-
just a shitload of those.
See,
that
I'm
would
still
be kind of a cool mode, if I'm being honest. Like, collect the dog tags and then you hunt people down and you get
speaking
the
of Call
most
of Duty.
dog tags. Yeah. I think it would work with
well-
hunt also in its own way, but as we've talked before, you got to keep people playing the same shit. But
let's
not to
be
get too
honest.
much off topic.
That's more like Battlefield. Battlefield's the dog
Yeah,
tags.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
no,
true.
I was more meaning like the Tarkov dog tags, where you loot the person and you can pick up their dog tag if it's a player. And
Just to
then
kind of see like little basic.
Fair.
Yeah, just to
stats.
have it, and it's like, this is a person you killed, this was their prestige, and you killed
Good
them while
job,
their
yeah.
hunter was at this level, and then you can just have it in like a trophy case on the menu.
Or maybe you don't have their name on it, but you have like the hunter's name on it.
But you know what? One thing that I kind of wanted to move on to just real quick, because I had a couple of really, really big topics that I wanted to move on to.
Yeah,
And
let's get those done.
yeah. Is that there's obviously a very, very big golden boy in the current event. And I think people are calling it a meme. I say shame on you. I say I don't think any of you are thinking of this through, even though it is a 2-slot melee weapon. The brand new 2-slot melee weapon is the katana. It's obviously got immense damage, great speed. It has the animation for a machete swing, granted a little slower, but it's also got the stab of a saber. It's got a custom trait, which is going to cause it to be sheathed and
able to do a
then
scan. Yeah.
drawn out in a unique animation to do an immense amount of damage, which can be done without any stamina at all. The katana is obviously a really, really cool and going to be fun melee edition. I think it's a bit of a mistake since we haven't even fixed the old melee weapons at all yet.
Compared to the baseball bat, yeah.
And
Not
I'm
just the
just
baseball
waiting
bat.
for like somebody to run up to me and VoIP and be like, I have the power of God and anime on my side.
We're
I'm gonna run-
relive our anime.
I'm gonna
battles.
run freaking redneck with the katana. It's gonna be great.
It really is the power of God in anime. That's no lie. There really is. The fucking weebs are going to
the
be
freaking
decimating the
priest,
bayou.
the priest
And they're
with
going
the
to be like
katana.
running the fucking Japanese or even Chinese skins. And they're just going
Suddenly all
to
the
be...
Genji mains from Overwatch migrate to hunt.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh,
Like,
I didn't
and
know
that-
that.
Fuck, if they add a throwable shuriken, we're for sure getting these nerds invading our game.
That was a bad time to take a drink. Fuck.
But yeah, no,
I am excited for it though. I'm very excited.
it sounds excellent. I'm not opposed to fun, but holy shit.
Remember what we said with the bat though. I
Yep,
was
exactly.
super excited about it. I still love it.
Well,
No
now
doubt
hang
about
on. That's not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is the special trait that allows it to be drawn into a sheath and unsheathed with no stamina. And people were like, wow, that's not that powerful PvP. That's not what I'm
pretty
talking
good.
about. That's not what I'm talking about, though. That is absolutely what I'm
I'm just
avoiding.
saying that's
I'm
pretty
talking about PvE. People avoid PvE like the plague, like it's no big deal. Dude, if I got some motherfucker in there with a katana and that special trait, and he fucking 0 to 100 scrap beak or fucking
Yeah,
who the hell
you don't-
ever
You don't need to
That's
take stamina
true.
shots anymore.
within a
That's
minute. Exactly. It's way too
But
strong.
Is there
'Cause
like
I don't
a
have time to rush.
I'm
cooldown
curious
or
about how
anything
it's
on
gonna.
it? But how long does it take to do the animation is also a key
I mean,
factor.
I don't think we know yet.
3 seconds. Tops
I-
3 seconds.
I think I'm curious about like how it's going to interact, because if the trigger is a full stamina bar to do it, then taking a stamina shot means you can do that with every attack.
Well, right.
Right.
But Rat, it can be done with no stamina. Like, if you're out of stamina, you could do that special animation over and over again. No stamina required.
It would
with
just
full
take 3
speed.
seconds per. So do we know the we don't know the damage yet. Of
The damage-
these-
2 something, I think, isn't
Well, The full damage on a heavy swing, which I'm guessing it's got to be at least close to, is 295. It's like the axe. It's a 2-slotted melee weapon, which don't
If you
shrug
do
that off.
that sheath thing, right?
No,
Right, but don't shrug that off. That's what a lot of people do is they're too quick to ignore good melee weapons. Don't. That's exactly what happened with the bat, and that's exactly why I said it was a staple with a 5-star player who ran a Winfield every match, because a Winfield's already a versatile at every range weapon, minus sniper ranges, but who the fuck is running that without a scope? You know, you're going to have that problem of the people that have it at super close range. Dogs are randomly, trivial. They're not that difficult anymore because you can just do your stupid little fucking anime sheath and unsheath attack like you're some fucking main character.
Omaewa.
Moshindaru.
So I guess my question is, DJ, what do you think could counteract that?
Nothing. And the reason why I say nothing is PvE. People don't realize that's a crucial part. And yes, how fast an enemy hunter can kill a boss is a crucial part. I'm so sick of people ignoring that. Like it's nothing. They get health bars back. They get the banish and the points away from you. They automatically get rid of like the noise of the whole compound. You can't rush in anymore and rush into the boss to kill them with a shotgun or whatever the fuck. Maybe
and you
melee
definitely
weapon
don't want to
throw.
rush in now that they've got a katana and they're sheathing it and they're hiding. So yeah,
Exactly.
Hey, don't tell me what I can't do.
So, how much?
Hell yeah.
I have a
I'm
question.
gonna do it, and I'll fail every fucking time, but it's gonna be funny as shit.
Hands down.
How much health does the boss have? Like, how
Enough.
quick are we talking that
It has-
will take it down?
I think it's close to 3,000 because 3,000 is the amount that a big dynamite bundle does, and it can one-shot a boss. I'm not confident that that's the number, but ballpark.
Okay. So I guess you got
says a spider can be killed with 2 nitro headshots, so roughly that amount.
But headshots are multiplicative, so fuck
Yeah.
it. We're running with that number.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess what I would say is if
3,000 to
recovery-
5,000 is what it's saying here.
Okay. So if the recovery is like about 3 seconds between that animation each time, basically to do that, then you're talking about 3 seconds per time. And if you have to do that so many times, that means that's not that quick. I think a baseball bat takes it out faster than that.
Wrong. Because
I'm saying the number wise type of thing, because
no, that's why I'm saying you're wrong, because that's exactly what's wrong with it is slow melee animations on any melee weapon without stamina is about that time.
But I'm saying you're more likely to use a stamina shot. That's what I'm saying with a baseball bat.
Right. Hang on. Because we're imagining that people might be abusing traits here, like it's someone that makes you regen stamina faster, which would already
Vigor or
not vigor. It's the other one. It's the heart with the beating pulse.
Determination.
Determination. Thank you so much. It's not so much that, Richard. It's more so that the same amount of time that it takes to sheath and unsheath the thing for a full, keep in mind, full damage attack is the same as a light melee attack with no stamina, and it does not abuse your stamina because it doesn't require it. Well, I mean, obviously it uses it, but
I think you're both overlooking one thing as well.
No, what I'm saying is that if you have a stamina shot with a bat, you are like, with the recovery of the bat is insane, and that's why I was saying the recovery needs to be nerfed with the bat.
Right, but we're ignoring that. To be honest, we're mostly focusing on without. But I do want to hear.
I'm saying 3 seconds recovery of sheathing each time. That's if it's only like 290 damage, and they have 3,000 to 5,000 health. That's quite a bit of health for the amount of time, because you can, like you said, a dynamite, a nitro, things that can take this thing down faster.
Right, but if we're determining it in terms of balance, we're never taking into account stamina shot. Never. I'm sorry. never, because that any melee weapon is competitive in that meta.
True,
But-
but I guess the reason why I would argue that is because usually when you're taking melee, there's not a time where you wouldn't take a stamina.
Well, if
Yeah,
we're-
you would.
he's
You
got a
would.
point,
You
know.
would take a. Yeah, you would take a stamina.
Yeah,
shot.
that's what I
Right.
mean. That's why I would compare it that way, because
Now,
melee, it would
I
be
do
only
have
that,
one
but
point to make with this katana, though.
let's hear it.
Even with the baseball bat being as fast as it is, and how it barely uses any stamina,
Uh-huh.
only one, of the 5 bosses we have, I think 2 are actually resistant to bludgeoning, and 1 is resistant to rending.
Hmm.
Which means that 4 of the 5 are. Oh, I know. Yeah. 4 of those 5 are weak to rending,
which
Yeah.
is something
makes
that
those
katana
attacks
does.
even higher.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
the
going to kill them even
versatility of the
faster.
the versatility of the katana is definitely higher than something like the baseball bat or any of
Right.
the other melee. That's something I 100% agree with.
Yeah, for sure.
But
But again,
I-
it's basically what you're talking about, where I'm like, okay, in this situation, I can
right,
understand.
I love the katana. I do not want to circle jerk it like the bat. I don't think it deserves
Definitely.
that, because it is not a one
It looks
slot.
fun.
So yeah, no. Fun factor, it's a 10 out of 10. Balance
Got
factor,
an anime.
I'm not going to give a number, but I'm going to say a 7 out of 10 in worrisome. That's it. Because I do want to move on to other subjects. I don't think it deserves as much as the bat did. But
Although I
Definitely.
am waiting for 2 people to be playing as
But-
the Ronin, both with katanas with that
yes,
trait, and then to just like
Oh,
face
yeah.
each other and both go into that stance and then both attack at the same time.
And then they both
See
fall
who
down at the
wins.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
All right.
either see who wins or they both die at the same time, because I want that video.
I slightly disagree.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want 2 Ronins. I want a Ronin and I want the Shrine Maiden, dude. I want both of them.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah! Now we're cooking,
Hell yeah.
baby.
Face off.
Now we're cooking.
Hey, baby. But I do want to touch on another major freaking weapon that got almost too much love, and I think we can all agree in one form or another. I think it's simply got the jack of all trades in
Best
a
gun in the
certain
game.
aspect. We got the Dolch. We've literally discussed it in a previous episode, and we determined that this thing did not need a special ammo because
That's true.
it's already special ammo of its own type, which is already a problem with the nitro. But let's refrain in that part, because B, it's getting a fucking Deadeye single slot, no less.
Mhm.
The claw variant is fine, but what the fuck? Why are we getting FMJ on this thing? Dum Dum is a little trivial, a little redundant, but FMJ
Whatever.
is
That
like,
I can live
why?
with. Yeah.
why?
Well, I mean, I
I'll
think
tell
the
you
thing
why.
that we can all agree on here with the Deadeye, though, is that because there's no stock, the sway is going to be so goddamn bad
Doesn't matter.
that you almost have to take steady hand.
I slightly agree with Tyler here, because
I don't
good
think
aimers,
it matters. Yeah.
good aimers,
Yeah, when you
exactly,
got
it
a
does not
scope,
matter.
Yeah, when you got a scope,
So, but yeah, exactly.
you've
If you
got
have a
no
scope.
hope.
Yeah. they've got no hope. But no, like I'll tell you why they're doing
Unless you
Deadeye
kill-
and
you
Full
killed
Metal
by
is
the Pope.
because those two are universally together.
Yes.
It just gives you range fighting. And the Dolch was already like a decent range weapon. Like it's not meant to be used at range, but now it is, and it's just kind of like, what the hell? Like I don't know. I'm really concerned with how this is gonna change the Dolch.
I
'cause-
just, yeah. What kind of with that is like, I don't think every weapon needs a scope. Like that's
No,
weird.
no.
Like I mean, like a
Agreed.
handgun, like with a scope. I mean, is there a gun out there? Like when you think handgun, do you think scoped weapon?
Not really.
Sometimes, yes.
Seriously?
Sometimes,
Sometimes,
yes.
yeah, I guess, but
I mean, I guess what's a real life example? I'm just curious. I don't.
A lot of
I mean,
revolvers.
Actually, a lot of real life
Yeah,
handguns do
44
have
mags have
scopes.
a
Yeah.
lot of.
I guess they have
scopes.
those little ones currently, but I'm trying to think of back then.
Well,
I
no, no,
guess,
no.
yeah,
Were
that's
they really
true.
thinking
How you
about a
use it.
scope on a tiny ass gun?
I guess
I mean,
back in the day,
44
not.
mags,
Yeah.
man. 44 mags almost like you can buy
No,
scopes
like
for them
like
that are
back in the
actually like
late
huge.
1800s. That sort
Yeah,
of
yeah,
thing.
we're talking about like Civil
Yeah,
War
if we're talking
era,
about semi-realistic with this sort of game.
yeah, like obviously nowadays, yeah, a lot of guns have scopes, like handguns especially. But
Can we
Yeah,
get
yeah,
now hang on. Before this conversation continues, can we get a quick Google search on when scopes were realistically implemented on guns
sure.
before
Yeah,
we get
yeah,
any
yeah,
further?
yeah.
Because that would be an
I'm
excellent point.
curious.
Richard, I absolutely agree with you, but I 110% also agree with Rat because 44 mags are like the staple of scopes.
Yeah,
That's just-
yeah. Well, I'm saying I don't have any information on like guns and realism that way. That's why like hunt is okay for the most part. Like make whatever the hell you want. Doesn't really bother me, but it just seems kind of weird to like you think a handgun and all
So-
you think about is holding it in front of you and being like pew pew pew, you're dead. I killed
Right.
you,
So
cowboy.
Obviously, so okay, so I looked it up, and like the scopes obviously were invented around like 1835-ish. Is what
Yeah,
it's telling me
there's
here.
definitely scopes on them, but I'm trying to
But
think
for
of like on
handguns,
handguns.
yeah, no, I agree, and that's what I'm trying to look up here. So
I see mounting optics on a handgun has been around for 40 plus years, but I'm not sure.
and I do agree. I definitely think that scopes are. I mean, if we're really playing into this hand, we're going to see that scopes were also expensive. They were also rare. So obviously, we got to cut that factor out.
of course,
It's like I said, it's
I
Hunt
mean,
Showdown, and
yeah,
like,
we've got the
I don't know
freaking-
anything about guns, but if we're trying to like create some sort of like immersion, like it's got to make somewhat of a sense. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, the
but-
bomb lance makes sense with how ridiculous it is for what
Well,
it is.
yeah, no, I mean we have things like the Optomont, which obviously doesn't like.
Right.
Yeah, that's
the
a crazy ass gun.
Yeah.
The Optomont was based off of an entirely different gun as well. So obviously, I'm not going to go too deep into that.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah.
But
no worries.
a previous conversation that I had with Drake from Hunt Lowdown is the suspension of disbelief that I'm willing to put up with this game probably stops at the bomb lance because I do agree that it's an excellent concept, but I'm not going to put it too far beyond that in terms of where I'm willing to go with a lot of the
Exactly.
craziness of
Right.
this game because I think it's excellent. I love how much this game wants to implement and how much it wants to innovate, but I can't get past too little realism. We've got to stop somewhere.
Wait,
And-
hold
course.
up.
You've got to
So
take some liberties somewhere.
The game with zombies, armor-covered zombies, dudes who burst into flame when you shoot them, a giant pig man that chases you around while flaming, a man made of bugs, and an amalgam of bodies turned into a giant spider, and a giant lightning-firing alligator. A scope on a pistol is where you draw the line on realism.
Absolutely.
No.
What?
No,
My argument there.
Everybody stop. Everybody stop. That's not where I draw the disbelief. It is the bomb lance. But in my defense, no, hang on. It's the bomb lance where I draw the suspense of disbelief because it is a wildly crazy idea that I love.
It's a spring-loaded spear
So-
that shoots an explosive.
Now, hang
So,
on. Stop.
DJ,
Stop.
I want to help you out here. Essentially, when we're making the argument about zombies and stuff, we got to think about the first and foremost concept of the game. It is about cowboys shooting in Louisiana. First and foremost. Now, the zombies, the bosses, the lore, all that sort of stuff is sprinkled on top. So if we're moving
Yeah.
around with random guns, it's like, why do I expect a cowboy to be wielding
A
something.
katana.
I would argue that though. I would
No,
argue
but
that
that's
because
what
the
I'm
game's
saying.
not
Like,
about cowboys. The game is it's never been about cowboys. It's in a
that's all I
cowboy
thought.
era.
It's cowboy
No,
shooting. Yeah.
it's in a cowboy era, but it's always been Weird West. It's always been like
See, if it was Weird
supernatural.
West, I would have felt more vampire, if I'm being honest. Like,
Yeah,
they
like
had
Van
that game
Helsing type
Evil
shit,
West,
yeah.
you know?
It's
Yeah.
always been
was
a
all
supernatural horror in like an 1800s
I think
setting.
it's
It's
in
not
that.
a cowboy game. It's all about like Louisiana history, which is all filled with like voodoo and all that.
Well,
Like
and
But I think that's
so
more vague, if I'm being honest,
Well,
because
I
the
agree with
lore in
Richard.
and of itself is like, it's about the concept of the game is about, you know, shooting other players while you do some random chore, or like kill a few
Yeah,
monsters or
you're
something
racing
like
each
that.
other to the chore. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, one regard that I gotta really praise Rat for is where you said that you would only extend it to like a certain thing. Is like, I mean, think about European superstition. I'm not gonna go
Yeah.
too far into that, but like
Yeah.
that definitely plays into like vampires and yada yada.
Yeah, and I
Right?
think it's not too much into that, and granted, like, I think it's great to like extend your fiction and play off different lore items and things like that. But
Oh,
it's like, it's not
sorry.
even about believability, I'd say. It's about um just what makes it so, I don't know, it's fun, and it makes sense in a way. I don't know.
I
No,
think that it has to make sense in the world you're playing in, and in this case,
That's
all the weird shit that
yeah.
happens. I'm like, all right, I can suspend
But it
belief
feels
that a
grounded.
Mosin Aftermath existed when it wasn't a Mosin at all.
Like, it feels grounded in the sense that, like, you know, these monsters are literally just kind of like decayed or messed up versions of their old self, and it's almost like machinations what of of what they once were. And so I think it's like, not as far as like, you know, vampires and stuff like that. It still feels grounded in a sense. Like, especially with the gameplay, like the gameplay is very grounded in regards to, it's slow, it's concise, precise, all the above. So, and I
Yeah,
just think, like,
that's a
when you
fair
get
point.
too much like into that, like we've even talked about custom ammo, it's just like, it's like, do we really need all this crazy stuff? Are we getting too crazy to make it like, so it's feels like Call of Duty? I mean, we
Yeah, are we
make that
getting into the
argument all
Nicki
the time.
Minaj Call of Duty skin bullshit?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no,
Like, how grounded do we really want it to be?
I really want to let our new co-host go off a bit here because he made an excellent point that I think a lot of people actually agree with, because I really think that a lot of this custom ammo bullshit is getting a little out of hand, and I kind of want to let him go off. Rat, please
Yeah,
go
let's
off a
hear it.
little bit.
Let's hear
Yeah,
it.
so like I when custom ammo first came out, it was like each different custom ammo made every
Mhm.
gun have its own niche. But now, like with the packs and the Scott Field, they had separate special ammos, so they still had their own places. Then they added all of the special ammos to the Scott Field and effectively erased the packs' niche.
Yep.
And same thing with like the Centennial getting Dum Dum ammo and High Velocity. That was like I think High Velocity, I can't remember, but like when it got Dum Dum ammo, that was the Springfield's big thing. Like Springfield had Dum Dum, you could hit people, give them heavy bleed. But
Mhm.
now, what's the point of taking the Springfield when you can have the Centennial, which has a faster fire rate, um,
Yep.
arguably better sights, depending on if you're me and actually prefer the Springfield sights. But like, it faster fire rate. You can hit people way faster. Whereas with the Springfield, you can hit them once and then hope they bleed out while you're reloading or swap to a different gun.
I mean,
So
to go along with that, I was just going to add real quick before you continue. Remember the Romero hatchet versus like the regular, like small Romero? There was literally no reason to take the hand cannon version.
Yeah, it was like you used the hand cannon as a stepping stone to get the hatchet, though. Like you still had to
Exactly.
use it.
Yeah. It's something
Um,
similar, but not the exact same.
Yeah, and I mean, if you don't want the extra sway that the hatchet gives, or you
It's
prefer
so
to take the
minimal, it
knife.
doesn't matter. But that's kind of like what I would say is kind of similar to what you're saying about the custom ammo.
Yeah, it's
Is
like
like
them adding all of the custom ammo to almost every gun. It just erases the niche that certain guns had carved out. Now
exactly.
there's no defining characteristic for like the packs versus versus the base Scotfield.
It's like
When you
why
can
use
take the
the
Spitfire,
Springfield?
why? Yeah,
Yeah.
when you can take a Spitfire, why take the packs? When you can take a Centennial with Dum Dum, why would you take the Springfield with Dum Dum?
Yep, exactly.
So
It's
I mean,
negating the usefulness.
yeah, I mean, basically, it comes down to: do I want this muzzle velocity or this muzzle velocity now? So like my issue is that they keep adding all of these special ammos to different guns, and honestly, the special ammo is what gave each gun its own niche.
Yeah. It was supposed to be an addition and enhancer to a reason to pick that certain gun versus to only have your favorite gun to have all these different custom ammos.
Like you'd take the packs because you had longer range, so you were more accurate with that. And then they gave the Scotfield high velocity. Like the Scotfield was meant to be like a fanning gun because that gun was made for fanning. But the packs was meant for like longer range shots, which is why the true shot, like the long barreled variant, was an actual thing. So I don't know. It throws me off really bad when I'm like, okay, well, I really like the Springfield, but why would I take that when I can just take the Centennial? Or
Yeah.
like I really like the for example the Rival. I really like the Rival, but
Mhm.
why would I take that when I can take the Lamac carbine because now its underbarrel is equal to a Caldwell Rival shot.
Mhm.
So now I can have that extra range and still have a Caldwell Rival shot as a
Well, I
backup.
guess this kind of goes into why I had a problem with the Dolch with the scope. Is like it's like everything has a scope, everything has all these things, everything has custom ammo. It's like, why should I take all these other things when literally the best gun, arguably, has everything now?
Yeah. Or like if they added it'd be like if they added high velocity to the drilling.
Oh my god.
Right.
Yeah, it
Don't
would be
joke
like if
like
they
that.
added that.
They're going to do it, you know it. They already did the
Nah,
compact
they
and the
will.
hatchet.
Christ Almighty! Please don't even give them the idea because we'll get
We'll
Resend
into
edit
it.
that out in
resend it,
post.
resend it, resend it.
We
Cast
will.
it back to the Shadow Realm.
That is definitely going to be like a tag it in a minute kind of thing. Thanks for foreshadowing it, boys. All you did was really put us really deep in how doom and gloom some of these things are. Not going to pretend like the game is deep in the dirt yet because
No.
it's certainly not. We love this fucking game. But one huge thing that I just can't get over is I wanted Rat to go off on that so hard, and he did a great job because I can't believe that a lot of guns' identities are being deleted, and that's not necessarily what you said. So I kind of want to rescind that point just a hair before we drop it. And not only that, I really think Tyler didn't get a chip in because I know
No,
he's got some.
I'm just
Are you
listening.
sure? Okay, because I really think that a lot of guns' identities are being erased. And let me give a few examples just because they're ones that I personally really engaged with, like the regular Nagant having high velo and poison, and the officer. I thought those were perfect custom ammos for it, which I don't even love custom ammos in the first place. I think that they kind of erase the ammo types entirely. I get that we need to have some kind of diversity in terms of guns. I really get that we need more gameplay revolved around like guns and more variety, but I think that's what the variations are for. And I don't even think that those are necessarily hitting the intended mark. But now we're getting like the fucking drilling as a compact, which I already think let me go off on a very small tangent here. A lot of people like to say that the game is destroyed. destroyed by
that's
certain
funny.
additions. Right. But I definitely think that that's a huge straw man argument to what's really happening. It's not destroyed, it's unhealthy. An unhealthy game isn't destroyed, it is merely tainted. And I don't like that we've got a lot of new additions that don't necessarily fit where people like in healthy degrees, like high velocity Centennial. What the fuck, Crytek? We already got Dum Dum. Stop giving an already amazing gun really, really healthy bullet variations, especially the one that's going to basically be a label spitzer. And now we've got guns that are getting FMJ, you fucking uppercut. I love you so much. You don't need to be better. And we've also got, like I said, the drilling compact, which is going to be very healthy with, say, compact slug shotguns. And it's only going to add to the ammo pool of people who put a slug in the compact. I don't understand the mentality here. Please.
Now
Brad.
hold up. You're saying that the Centennial would be basically the Label Spitzer.
Yes, basically.
I think it's better.
Shit, that's a
The Label-
wild
Maybe at
statement.
this
The
point,
Label does not have a silenced variant.
That's no lie.
That's true.
The silenced
true.
variant for the Centennial already has one of the highest muzzle velocities in the game still. Like for medium ammo, it has one of the highest muzzle velocities still.
I believe it's
So
like
even using a silenced version, throw high velocity on there, and you have a silenced Label.
it's basically.
Pretty
I
much.
bet you
Crazy.
it's
Still a
going to be
2-hit kill.
close to certain ranges. Yes, but it's probably going to be around like
headshot, though.
500 milliseconds for a high velocity shorty Centennial. That's ridiculous.
Fast.
That's ridiculous.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the let me see here. The Winfield Shorty Centennial silencer. It has a muzzle velocity of 390 meters per second just at base. Slap on high velocity there, and it takes it to the same speed. I think it's about 600 meters per second.
And of course, we're not actually comparing it to a Label Spitzer, but you have
Or
to
no,
factor in.
it'd be about 540
usability.
meters per
The
second.
usability of it.
Yes, you have to factor in experienced players that know how to lead bullets, and 500 meters a second is not a difficult speed to lead at all.
Well, yeah, you're basically leading just a regular Winfield at that point.
With high velocity.
Yeah, a
Because
regular
regular-
Centennial is
A high velo on a Winfield is nasty.
Yeah.
the regular Centennial
itself.
has a muzzle velocity of
400.
no 600.
600. Oh, you're talking about the Centennial.
Yeah, the regular Centennial
Yeah.
is at 600 meters per second.
I thought
So
you
you're
meant
only
regular
going
Winfield.
60 meters per second less using a shorty silenced.
Right, and then you add
with
that
high velo.
disgusting ammo type. Yeah, it very clearly was not a well thought out addition. I already think, and sorry, Drake, I gotta disagree with you here for a second, because I fully agree that Dolch FMJ is like, what the fuck? But Dolch Dum Dum, it may be redundant, but if you're able to tag them once or even twice on limbs before they get behind cover, the point of bleed is it's exceptionally strong. And
Well, the thing is too that they can have the bleed be almost worse than medium Dum Dum as well because the gun's base ammo is special.
yeah, and it's based off of a medium gun, so it's going to have
Will they
identical
nerf
stats.
the bleed damage though? Maybe
No,
I
not
doubt
a
it.
chance in hell.
I think it'll be stronger, honestly.
it probably will. It's like the Nitro when they had the
With the
shredder
shredder
rounds?
ammo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Or
it
as
was, like,
Baldor says,
weird.
shredder ammo.
Shredder. And I realize I'm sorry that we've been so involved in certain subjects, but this patch is huge. We've got a lot to go
Intense.
over, so it's really difficult to pinpoint one subject to a high degree without
So
inevitably leaking into other subjects.
well, I
Continue.
guess what I'll just say about the whole thing is that when we were watching the patch notes and the updates and the trailers and all this sort of stuff, what I just messaged to you was like, there's so many changes in here. I don't know if that's such a good idea for such little amount of time. It's like so much change in a small amount.
Right.
I think
So
it'd
it's
be
like,
nice
it's
if
hard to
they-
balance that. It's hard to balance that with any game.
I think it would have been nice if they had just used this entire event to be like, this is our Project Health. We're just going to work on nothing but bugs and
Instead of
server issues.
inventing new stuff.
And then they're like,
Yeah.
we're going to add more guns when we still haven't fixed the poison bug.
I just want
Right.
new monsters, new maps. I want extra stuff that changes it up. Guns don't change the gameplay enough.
I just want the katana.
Yeah. Well, when you add things like the katana, I will say that does add new things. Like when they're innovative with like all these melee weapons, as crazy as the bat is with its recovery, I'll say that it's fun. Like everything, all these new melees are awesome.
Well, I've got one question about all the melees. How in the fuck are we getting the katana when we still don't have the shovel able to be equipped in our arsenal?
Now, hang
want
on.
a shovel.
Or a pitchfork.
Give me a folding tactical shovel, like a trench digger. Give me
I
one
mean-
of those and let me run around the bayou smacking people. Like, I want my base weapon to have that bong whenever I hit somebody in the face.
I don't disagree because World
But then
War
it would
One.
make it irrelevant though in the environment, is what I would argue.
Well, I mean, that would
Well,
the
then
same
what-
argument could be made for the axe and the railroad hammer.
I was
Do they-
just gonna say
Do
there's
the axe
two.
and the railroad hammer have the same amount of damage, or is it as when
Yeah,
you pick them up?
They all have the
Very
same amount of
slightly.
damage as the world weapons.
Yeah,
Or
Okay.
if not very slightly different, but yeah,
I would have
it's-
kept the hammer and the axe out of equipping, but you know,
I agree. I really, truly do. I don't know why the hell we're going in the direction of the world weapons getting implemented into our arsenal. Not because I don't want them, but because why the hell were they world war weapons in the first place? Besides
we're
one
just gonna-
extra swing, right?
mhm.
And
Yep.
so now we're getting redundant at some point.
Yep.
But
The only advantage that the world weapons have is that if you have tomahawk, you can throw them.
pretty much,
But
That's it.
the reason I say that they need to add the shovel as something you
I
can
love
equip in
tomahawk.
your inventory is if they made a 2-slot shovel that was a folding shovel, you could have the exact same thing where a light attack is blunt light attack is blunt damage and a heavy attack is slashing. And then you've got a versatile melee weapon that
Yeah.
can do blunt and slashing, and then it's got its own niche carved out, just like the knuckle knife, which I affectionately refer to as the mullet knife.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the hammer's not very good, so what would make the shovel so good anyways, you know?
The bunk.
well, if
The
we're
bonk sound, yeah.
Bunk, go bunk.
if we're being honest, it's the sound alone. We're going for the
Yeah, the
memes.
sound.
That's
yep.
what I want. Like, if I
Baseball
want
bat,
people
you
to
know?
fear me when I run into a compound, all they hear is bong, bong, bong.
This motherfucker's serious. He's
Dude, we
bonking.
should have like a freaking giant bell that you just carry in your hands and just like ding 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 ding.
Oh yeah, the shame
and
bell.
smash it
Please,
down someone's head.
please give me the shame bell. Shame.
But if we're being honest, the real bell that you carry in your hands is when you climb to the top of the churches and ring that bitch. You know that
Dude,
that motherfucker's alpha.
I want a ball and chain, you know.
Nah.
I thought you were
Go
Go
already
medieval
married.
on their ass. What's that?
I said I thought you were already married.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Not when you get remarried in the bayou. But you know
You
what?
get remarried to the dirt every day at the bayou.
Because we
There's a
died
lot of
lot.
changes. We may even inevitably leave some of these changes to our next episode. So sorry if this feels a little scatterbrained because this was completely improvised. We had a
So much
lot
to
of
talk about.
well, too much to talk about. We had our brand new member. I know you're very surprised. He was just our guest on the last episode. Believe me, this was not planned. This was just what God intended, if you're even religious.
On the previous episode of Hunt, Banish, Extract.
No, Rat was meant to be a part of us, and I think it showed.
Well, I appreciate that.
Hashtag Rat mainstay. I mean, Drake already said
Hashtag
it.
rap for president.
No,
But I'm already the patron saint of 3 stars. I can't have that much power.
3 stars is already too powerful.
I know. I mean, it's already so powerful that I got to 4 stars for all of like 5 games, and it kicked my ass back down to 3 star.
Hashtag bring Santa to the bayou.
Shut the fuck up, because Santa's coming, and he's coming angrily, no less. I mean, he had like a fucking little pin on his Santa uniform. We got Evil Santa as a skin that's coming next. And I mean, he looked kind of psycho. I don't honestly know what the hell.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
you didn't watch the trailer?
I didn't.
Is
I
that Evil
watched the
Santa?
trailer, but I
No,
don't
the
think
only
saw
thing
it.
I saw was
Hold up.
like a variation on the Mountain Man. That's what it looked
That's
like.
not a variation on the Mountain Man. No,
It
the
looked
brand
just
new.
like him, just without his head piece.
No, I disagree. The new trailer, it looks like motherfucking Evil Santa with a crossbow. And not only that,
Evil Santa.
since our patron saint of 3 stars has an ultra favorite skin, the rat is getting a variation skin, kind of like what we were talking about with fucking
At least
Chad
we think so.
No, it's confirmed. I saw it in game. The rat is getting a variation skin of her zombie skin, because I mean, we were talking about Chad Kroger fucking Kane, but you know what?
Dude,
It's
Chad
happened.
Kroger.
The variation skins are real, dude. Like the one piece
Dude,
is
I
real.
called it. I called
Yeah,
it.
it's crazy. That means the potential is limitless.
Hold up, I gotta see this new this new rat skin.
You absolutely should. I think. Oh fuck! I wish I remember exactly who was streaming the gameplay.
Evil Santa looks like the Mountain Man, like a variation.
They could shut the fuck up and be wrong, because they're probably from Reddit. I have beef, remember? And
Back into the red. Don't
How
get him
much?
back in there. You just
Give
got
me a
out.
double.
I just dug myself out. I'm sorry. No, we're an
Every
hour,
time
and the
I think
Redditors.
I'm out, they pull me back in.
The Redditors have left. It's an hour in. We didn't plan on a longer than hour episode, but we have to dive in at least a little bit because there's too much. But I can't believe that variation skins actually were a thing. We joked about it last fucking episode. And the fact that it's that extreme, like a rat zombie, it better not be off of the main skin. It better be a cheaper variation if you own the main skin. I swear to God, Crytek, don't screw your good fans like that.
The thing that I'll say is, like, if you own the right, you probably, I mean, you would hope you would get it. But you know how they've been doing the double skins, how you have the variation on them, and you have the snake guy, you have the 2 scrap beak fellows.
Now hang on, because the only person that really, Perchta
and
or
Frau Perchta. Yeah.
Frau Perchta is the only one that got a true variation. Because if you're talking about the fucking
I'm more talking about alterations of the same skin, but even if they are different people, I'm more talking about
5 variants.
They're under the same hunter. And that's what I'm saying, is it needs to be under that. Unlike the zombie guy, the gambler dude. I don't remember his
Bad
name.
Hand
Revenant.
and Revenant.
Yeah,
Revenant,
that one, it should be under the same, and you should be able to choose different skins. And that's kind of what I was like saying, is like variations would work perfectly because you just choose that hunter and then you choose the variation. I mean, other games have been doing it for a while now, so it was only a matter of time.
Here's the reason I think that if you already own the rat, they're going to give it to us for free. And it's because during the dev diary, they said that the katana skin, like there's going to be a separate skin for the katana when it comes out. And it's going to go to people who have already bought, I think, the Ronin pack.
Yep. Exactly.
So, like, you know, that's content they're backdating to people who have already gotten a DLC. So if the rat gets a new skin, it's either going to be in the battle pass or it's going to be given to all the people that have the DLC.
Yep.
And if it's in the battle pass, I will pay any amount of money.
We'll find out, though. So,
one take I definitely want to hear from our resident weasel is, you you had a huge issue with how every gun is being unlocked from level 1. But how do you feel about the whole workbench change? How do you feel about blueprint, pardon me, being changed? The gun oil. I hate the gun oil change because that shit doesn't make any sense. Realistically, game-wise, it makes sense. Unlock the next unlock. But why is blueprint just being like buffed in a weird random way, and gun oil is now nonsensical is what I would say? How the hell is that a gun unlock? I liked it better when it cleaned. Just
Wait, hold
remove
up.
gun
So-
oil.
But whenever you clean your gun, you don't get a new gun?
You
Fuck, I've been
do.
doing it wrong my whole life.
Oh, god damn
I
it.
mean, honestly, I'm fine with the changes, especially if they're already changing the prestige system. I think they kind of have to. So, like,
Yeah.
I don't really have an issue with the blueprint changing. Most of my issue, I feel like we've already kind of discussed with the prestige stuff. I guess one of the biggest issues I have a problem with is being able to light people on fire with flare pistols, like when they're dead. I don't know.
Hey, it gives the Star Shell a reason to exist.
True, but
Not
I'm just
to
gonna
tell
carry a
everyone where
flare
you're at.
pistol. Why
But
would
like,
I
the way I
waste
see it with the
slot?
prestige changes and like all of the guns being unlocked at level 1 is just that you're no longer at a disadvantage to everybody else when you prestige. The only thing that's going to be different is you can't get tier 3 hunters. But at level 1, you have access to all the guns that all the people that have been sitting at level 100 have. So now you're just equal footing.
Yeah, but I'm still not gonna take Star Shell. I'll just take a flare pistol.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like a Lamat with Star Shell, if you're using it just to get rid of, like, how many times do you kill a solo and then it takes like, you're like, hey, you watch that body. I'm gonna go find a lantern. If you take a Lamat and have Star Shell, you can just be like, all right, he's
But
done.
the
And then you
funny
just
thing
stand there and watch him burn.
is I always take fusees or flare pistol.
Yeah, I
Always.
always take flare pistols,
Always.
so that really doesn't
Well,
change anything for me.
What's awesome is if you take like a Lamat with Star Shell and you have the flare pistol, those flares like from the Star
Give you
Shell
the ammo,
actually get
yeah.
added to the flare ammo. So
Yeah,
that at
I'll
least is
say
useful.
I'll say this. I don't really run out of flare pistol ammo, like even when
Not
I'm constantly
really.
killing hives.
Especially
So
with the
I
updates.
meme so much that I'm constantly running out.
that's
Well,
fair.
now you
yeah.
pick them up
Like
in
they'll be like,
ammo
"Hey, be
box.
really quiet. I think there's a team over there," and then I'll shoot a flare straight up in the air.
Hell yeah. I'm all about that.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as the changes with the prestige and the like, I'm fine with the blueprint crap being changed. Like, yeah, it kind of doesn't really make sense, but that's a whole different ballpark. so.
I also said that the gun oil lost its use the minute they like changed the stuff about clean guns
Yeah,
versus not clean guns.
Yeah,
So I was like,
exactly.
just remove it. So at least
Yeah,
it's getting a
just-
use now. So
Just like the
See,
flash bomb, just take it out of the game. Like,
I think the best way
Yeah.
that they could have done it is if you have a contraband weapon, the gun oil will make it not contraband anymore, so you can sell it.
oh,
That would have been awesome.
That's actually
to clean
okay.
it from contraband.
That's what they
That is
should do.
actually good.
Crytek, that
like
is what you should
have it
do
be
with
like a bottle of gun oil with like a file next to it, so that you're like filing off the serial number, and now
Yeah.
it's your gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, okay.
And you write
Yeah,
your
that's-
name in it, like
that's
property
freaking great.
of.
That's a great idea.
I think that would have been awesome and kept gun oil like being gun oil
Relevant.
rather than just another blueprint. Because
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, I found a Mosin on this guy, and I remember there was some gun oil
Yeah,
back there.
I think that's the fix.
I'm gonna go
right
use
there.
that, and now
I agree.
I
Onto
can sell this
something
gun.
right there.
And
yeah, that's huge.
it's the whole reason that I loved the gun runner perk when they were doing that, because I was like, oh, sweet. I can just take gun runner, and then when I kill somebody, I'm going to swap out to their uppercut and their Mosin, and then I'm going to
And it's
extract.
yours.
And now I've already made more money than if I actually got the bounty.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Like that-
honestly,
It would have been a great way. Like, same thing with Shadow. I think Shadow would have been better as like a 1-minute shot called like Bad Blood or something like that, or Dead Blood, and have it be like it reduces the amount of time you're allowed to be in the round. So instead of 45 minutes, it cuts it down to 30 minutes to get extracted. And the reason being is that you're injecting grunt blood into yourself, so now you're more susceptible to the darkness. It would have been
Hell yeah. Using
way better.
lore
And then you
too.
can just be like,
Hell yeah.
wow. Yeah, now you could be like, well, there's a big fight going on over here. I don't want to deal with all these AI that are all over the place. I'm just going to hit myself with some dead blood. Takes 15 minutes off my timer. So now I've really got to rush to get through this fight and get the fuck out.
And also
Yeah.
make sure you get your car insurance too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's 15
Car
minutes,
insurance.
That's all you
For
Yeah,
got.
15 minutes or less.
Yep.
There's a lizard that's watching us from the sidelines. Like, you'd better get out, man. I can save you 15 minutes or 15% or more.
He all like talks like a zombie. He's like, get out of the bayou.
It's like a zombie gecko. Like,
Come buy your insurance.
You suddenly just start hallucinating geckos everywhere.
I know. One nerf I sincerely wanted to talk about in terms of meta, just because this one is personally the one that I think is going to affect me and a couple of other players the most, because this is one of my favorite new things. Is the regen shots are so strong. They've got obviously the buffed version of the regen that everybody's been abusing and taking into certain scenarios and outliving being double shot. Well, now the new nerf, which makes literally 0 sense to me, because all they had to do was revert it to the old version of the regen and not have this fucking buff. Maybe somebody's going to disagree with me and hiding in cover is the new meta, and so suddenly regen shots only matter when you're hiding outside of combat. Sure, I just thought that the old regen realistically didn't need a buff. Is now if you take damage from the new regen, you are automatically on a 5-second timer. Oh, go ahead, Ty.
no, I'm agreeing with you. Like, it's a 5-second delay before you can heal.
Is that what
Yeah.
they did?
It's a
That's what they're
5-second
doing.
delay after damage, and it's a 5-second delay the moment you inject it, as if you were taking damage. Which, if you wanted to go that route, the old regen was already not that strong, and I think it would have been equivalent to you hiding in cover. I just don't get why this change needed to happen. I don't get why this was some kind of nerf when realistically the old version was nerfed plenty, because it wasn't very strong as a regen shot. It was just a good regen shot.
No, I think I get why they did it, though. Because
I do too, but so-
like, if you look at most people that are taking regen shots, 90% of them are also taking vigor, because it enhances that regen. So that 5 seconds, they can jump into a bush in dark sight and
then
get
they're
that
full.
regen. And yeah.
Well,
So if you inject it and then you jump into a bush and start doing the vigor to get some regen back, then the regen shot kicks in and you can jump out.
does that actually reduce the timer? They did not confirm that.
I don't think they confirmed it, but I think that if you have it, like, it's worth a test when it comes out. I'm betting that if you
110%.
Yeah, if we go into like firing range when the update happens, I'll have you shoot me or something. I'll take a regen shot and then I'll start using vigor and just see if it immediately starts doing regen, and then the shot will kick in. Because if that works, it's a legitimate strat to just, like, you get shot, hit yourself with the regen, and then hide somewhere in dark sight for a second.
That would make sense. It's just, I guess it's trying to benefit more tactical players, if anything. Were we saying
So, I mean, I think I get why they're adding it, but in a different way. I think that they're adding it because they don't want people to be just serpentining and then all of a sudden they have, like, your 2 shots don't kill them and stuff. I think making it a 5-second delay was way too much, though. I think if it was like 2 seconds or something, that would be a lot better. It would slow it down enough. But that's if we're talking about keeping the same regen rate after they buffed it. So, like, if you still like that, I think making it not 5 seconds would be a good counter to that.
I think that it also makes sense because a lot of people have just replaced vitality shots with regen shots.
Yeah.
Because it's instantly regenerating. So like, if you take the vitality shot, now you've got a reason, like, oh shit, I need to heal now. The vitality shot will give you that instant heal, whereas the regen shot just makes regen happen faster.
So I guess with this whole thing, it hasn't really affected me because I think of regen as a quality of life thing, so I always take some regen instead of vitality.
yeah.
So I don't worry about healing. I just need to wait it out so that I'm able to keep fighting. It's
Yeah, and
something
I
that I
think
don't
that
want
it's
to like worry about when I'm thinking about fighting and positioning and things like that. So
Yeah.
it's more of
I
that to
think
me.
this
So
nerf
that's
is
why
more
it's
for people
nerf.
like you, where it's like this is just a quality of life thing. I just want to not worry about having to heal constantly.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you need to heal right now, a vitality shot will give you that instant health.
Yeah, and that's
So
sort of I even did this before they did the regen update, so it doesn't really affect me. So
I mean,
I think it makes sense just because they're trying to make it so that vitality shots aren't just like it's the whole niche thing I was
non-usable.
talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
Like
Yeah.
people
Like-
don't take vitality shots anymore because regen shots will just heal you through damage.
Yep.
like I liked, because I used the regen shot so much, I liked the buff, but I'm with DJ. Like at the end of the day, they really didn't need it, and so they
Yeah.
don't really need to add this extra thing to keep the
Yeah, they're
vitality
like
shot.
they're like jerking around in circles instead
Yeah,
of just
it's like, why are you
making
fixing
a
a problem that
decision.
wasn't there? Because
It's
you're
like
now
you guys
you're
were
creating another
supposed
problem.
Yeah, you guys were supposedly trying to fix a problem, and then you made another problem, and now you might
You're
be making
fixing
another
that.
problem. But
Yeah,
at the
and
same time,
just
it's just
stupid.
like, wait, why did you do this? And then, so it's just, I guess, jerking around in circles.
Yeah.
But, maybe they like to do that. Makes it extra fun,
Yeah.
I think it was just because they like the rate that your health regenerates now, just in general. So, because that's your
Yeah.
average regen rate and it does stop when you take damage if you don't have a regen shot, I think it was just to make it like keep in stride with your
I
regular
think, I think it
regeneration.
was about the delay. I mean, that's why I guess I can understand with like people hiding while they're fighting instead of keep fighting type thing. But I think people hide usually after they get hit anyways to heal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Because most guns kill you in 1 or 2 shots.
Yeah, and I
So-
mean the issue with regen as it is right now is that if you have a regen shot, somebody shoots you and you dive behind like a wood pile for a second, they have to push you to get to
just
you.
that second is
They start
enough time.
that
Yep.
that second is enough to negate the shot. So
Right,
Exactly.
so-
that 5 seconds I think is good for like, tactical advantage. You shoot them, they start bleeding,
it
or you
gives you
shoot them and
that
it gives
chance
them
to
that,
like
But-
that delay.
close the
but-
gap. Yep.
You know what would be better than the 5-second delay?
What?
If they just reverted back to what it was.
They
Well, what it
changed
was still
it.
healing
Yeah.
through damage though, so you'd take damage and still be healing.
Yeah, but you'd
it was
be
at a
healing
slower
slow.
rate,
Yeah,
so
so
it
it
didn't
didn't
matter.
really matter. Yeah,
No.
exactly.
I guess it's the matter of like, why are we updating something when
That didn't need it.
it's
Uh,
kind of like
My
doing the
point here
same
is
thing?
that it's like we're already worried about them using spaghetti code and just kind of throwing shit at the wall. So if they're using the same code as just your regular regeneration,
Yeah.
then it like with the old way, the only thing that was different between now and then is that everybody had vigor when they took the regen shots back then.
Uh-huh.
So they would immediately just like jump behind cover and use vigor for 5 seconds,
Well,
and then they're
sounds like
back
it's
to
a
full.
vigor problem then, more
It
than a
is.
regen
It
shot.
really
so-
is. But the issue was that people would use vigor and regen shots to get the regen rate that we currently have. So they'd get shot, they'd dive behind cover, and then for that 5 seconds that it's going to delay anyway now, they would just use vigor, regen some health, and then they'd be good. And it was
So-
actually more strong at that time.
Doesn't vigor? I'm trying to think of what the trait actually does. Isn't
Yeah,
it
you
the
so
one
you
that
have
to regen health
it-
and stamina.
when
Yeah,
you're in dark
while
side,
you're in
you
dark side,
double
yeah.
your health regen, so it doubles even from the regen, is what you're saying, right?
I think
So-
currently it doesn't stack on top of regen
It
shots.
doesn't stack.
Yeah, I
it
don't think
shouldn't
it stacks
stack.
now.
It
No.
does stack.
Does it?
It does.
Yep.
It absolutely
So
doubles
that's the
your
problem
regen.
right there. So maybe it shouldn't be doubles or double, but maybe it should be the fact that it's like if you have vigor, you have vigor. If you have a regen shot, it does that. Maybe it shouldn't stack.
Maybe.
Well, what the stamina was never the issue. Vigor was such a weird niche of a problem because I
Yeah.
realistically think that
I
the
never
old
used it.
I used it in my humble opinion, but I don't think it needed buff or nerf. Realistically, I think that the regeneration shot nerf is fine, but where it was already buffed
Yeah, exactly.
to
It's
a
that's what I'm
high
saying.
degree,
Circle jerking.
it
Yeah.
never made sense in the first place because
Exactly.
regen shot
Exactly.
was always strong. I don't get why you buffed it in the first place, you fucking nerds. Like,
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was-
I agree.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I'm
that's
saying.
kind of like
Like-
I guess what I would say with Hunt is that there's a lot of change for change's sake, just like a live service game.
It's
And
like they're trying to
sometimes-
shake it up.
Yeah, they're trying to shake it up when it doesn't need to be shaken up. Like
It's
you
trying-
shake things up with the new content. You don't need to like mess with things that are working.
right,
That,
it's
I
trying
guess
to,
the
Crytek,
overall
your-
thing.
Your Hunt Showdown fans are in a game where the gunplay is slower than fuck. We don't care about shaking things up. We want to keep it the same. 90% of us are dads.
Yep.
right. We're all slow as fuck
LOL.
anyway. Our brain power is already fucking slow. But you know
Yeah, so
what?
slow it down more.
Doo-doo-doo-doo. I'm gonna get
Well,
the
yeah,
guy
make it even
behind
slower.
the barn.
What already didn't make sense to me, realistically, and I realize we're joking around a little bit here, but what never made sense to me is how they're trying to quicken the amount of like stamina regen or health regen or whatever the fuck gunplay.
Yeah, they're quickening
We-
that, but it slows everything else down. So I don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
It was like it's another
Oh.
niche issue. Like the traits for Vigor and Greyhound and all that were meant to like give you that boost and give you that extra amount, but then they added stamina shot and then they added regen shot, and now those are just boosting it even more.
So,
Like there's no reason to take Greyhound. You can just fucking stamina shot at the beginning of the round and take the fuck
Hell yeah.
off. Like
Yeah.
you're running the whole time. But like with Vigor, that the whole point for that was to make it so that you could start regenerating your health sooner. Same thing with Adrenaline, I think. Low health, you start regenning.
That one makes your stamina regen faster if you have.
Oh
lower
yeah,
health.
what it is stamina. Shit, which
So
one was
it's
it that-
basically useless if you have the shots. So
Yeah. So like
Huh.
there's so many of the traits that are just useless if you have the shots. Like since they're already condensing like the iron traits and the Scopesmith traits, why not
Yeah.
just get rid of those traits
and make them
because we
one.
have the shots? And then it's a choice you have to make. Do I want to take the shot or take another consumable?
Yeah,
mhm.
I can
Like
see that.
it
yeah.
would completely eliminate the whole Vigor issue with the regeneration shots, because like that in and of itself in high elo is ridiculous. Like any streamer you watch, the second they get hit by something, they've already got a regen shot going, they hide behind some hay and they dark sight and they're full health.
Oh yeah.
But like if we take away Vigor, Greyhound, like the stuff that's made just for regenerating health or stamina sooner, just get rid of those. We already have the shots. Then it's a choice you have to make actively at the beginning of the round. Like Mithridatist, what's the point of Mithridatist? We have antidote shots.
I'd
Yeah.
say it does serve a purpose. I won't play too much of a devil's advocate here because I do, to an extent, agree with you. I do hate the traits that realistically only reinforce you don't have the shot. Might as well take this as like a backup at best, right? Like that
Or you
that-
have
it's
the
almost,
shot and it doubles its effect.
yeah, and then it's
Yeah.
like an insult at that point. But
Yeah.
it really,
synergy.
oh my god, it's just so perfect that
It's
way.
not that
Like,
deep.
you
No,
you
it's
can
not.
fucking
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
about to have a BF.
it really is annoying at that point. I agree. It really makes shit like that trivial. But I guess they really do try to take into account if I don't have the shot in my inventory. But what Hunt is not taking into account, Crytek, listen to us, is that there are times when those traits are not relevant. Bulwark has relevance. Bloodless has relevance to a degree. I mean,
No,
now,
hold up. How often did you actually see Bulwark before they made it so that flash bombs were almost negated with it?
all the time with me.
I
I
used
always
it every
used
single
it.
time I could.
Yeah.
I never used it. Like
As
if
a
an
Borderlands
explosive is
user,
gonna blow up right in my face, I'm gonna die Bulwark or not.
Well,
No, you can survive a bomb lance thing if it sticks
yeah,
you.
bomb lance thing, but
Yeah.
like, how often do you actually get stuck with a bomb lance?
Now, hang on, Rat.
I suck.
More often than you think.
I have
No.
had exactly, and you're gonna call me a liar. I've had exactly 5 times where I survived a bomb lance stick and killed people from it. Call me a liar if you want.
Oh no,
But-
I completely believe you. Like, I've seen people that are really good with bomb lances, but like, maybe it's just because I've been 3-star the whole like 630 hours I've played. But
that's fair. But in the defense is like frag bomb is one throwable, correct? And
Yes.
frag attachments on certain weapons are, niche, correct? Well, there's like the glizzy launcher, and then there's several dynamite sticks. You can survive those in very niche situations thanks to Bulwark. The flash bomb was like it was the fucking like the icing on that cake, man. I'm just saying.
And it's to me, it's just like Dauntless. Like, it's only useful in extremely niche situations. Which, I mean, I've been going on about niche this whole time. So yeah, I see their use.
I've got a legitimate
But
question
like with
here.
Mithridatus, it's like, why would anybody take Mithridatus when you can just spend 100 hunt bucks and have an antidote shot?
Because I don't want to spend $100 and my character already came with Mithridatus.
Richard.
You got a point.
So how many hot dogs come on the glizzy launcher?
I think
it's 9 total if you take that.
Well, can you feed like the grunts with it? Like, are they?
You can feed yourself if you aim at the ground.
You can make your opponents eat their words.
But we're feeding them glizzies, like some good old fashioned American fun. It's
I mean,
4th
when
of
that
July.
wiener explodes in your face, you're gonna regret it.
And if you can't launch a fucking glizzy back at your opponent with a baseball bat, how American are we really?
I mean, really, I think we should be able to hit
I said
bombs
rackets. I said rackets, remember?
Yes, you did.
You did.
Yo,
hey, don't give Crytek too many ideas. We've got a fucking katana now. We don't want.
No, we need the
rackets.
We need the rackets.
There's gonna be a frag bomb
racket ball with freaking frag bombs, and whoever loses it, hot potato.
If they do that, there's gonna be a frag bomb skin that's a shuttlecock.
Hell yeah!
I hope so.
I would love it. See, that's the unrealism I want. That
Rat's onto something. Let him finish.
Yeah, there's gonna be a shuttlecock skin, and then there's gonna be like a Twitch drop tennis player hunter.
Dude, it's Serena Williams. Even though she doesn't play badminton, she plays tennis. Something that I actually wanted to bring up before we finish.
This game has a really cult following. Like, I don't think that she'd even know.
Hell yeah.
No lie.
Something that I want to bring up before we end this episode shortly. I'd want to talk about the vaulting and being able to look around.
Ooh, love it.
Oh yeah,
I'm happy.
I'm excited about that because
happy boy.
Yeah, there's a lot of times that I haven't even noticed somebody to my side when I jump over a fence.
Yeah, that stuff is like legitimately half the jank wrong with the game. It feels so janky without something like that. That is a much needed addition. That is a quality of life.
Yeah, that is a great addition.
That's no lie.
It's not just a quality of life. I think it was necessary.
That's what I'm saying.
I will say, I think Headsman's going to be much more of a problem now that legendary hunters are only $100.
Headsman's going to be much more of a problem now that a progressively foggier map with grayer and grayer textures.
That's true.
I didn't even think about that.
But we're going to hopefully disagree with that when we see the event. I do want to say that.
The event starts next week, right?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. Does it really?
Yeah.
Is it the 12th or 13th?
I think it's
or
the 13th.
Oh, my nipples are so hard right now.
God damn, I'm feeling so ready.
Thank you, Crytek, for giving it to us this soon.
Thank you, Daddy Dennis.
For fucking me.
Oh my God. Holy hell. One thing I do want to add to all of this, because we've had a very, very couple of 4 vocal hosts. Holy shit, I didn't realize how much this made a difference because last time we had Rat on as a guest, funny enough, you all probably anticipated he was going to be a permanent member, you
or at least
beautiful
returning
bastards.
for the
Oh,
sequel.
we all knew it. We just didn't know it, you know? It
Well, I am
was
honored, sir.
but we have realistically got one hell of an event coming our way, and we're not diving into the hunters and the different hunter tiers and yada yada. We're saving that for next time because that's
Yeah, we are.
inevitably another thing. Lightfoot nerf, I think we want to see that in person before we judge it too harshly or even too lightly. And we don't want to judge the generators or even, some of these other changes
Poor
coming
generators.
because
RIP.
poor generators.
So
And
the way
Just
I look at it is what you're explaining, DJ, is you're basically saying we want to wait before we become redundant, like have a redundant episode like that one time.
yeah, we
Our
don't
emergency podcast.
Yeah.
as the famous Sir Kaiser would word it, we don't want to become like the predators,
What you mean, like
the Redditors with a P, because you're like, oh, I'm thinking of Predator, and I was like, wait, I was like Redditor, dog. No, but like, there's a lot of changes where we realistically, absolutely, it is a gameplay thing where we really want to see it in game first.
We can speculate all we want, just like
absolutely.
Well, there's one other thing to bring up, though, since we did talk about the prestige stuff at the beginning of the podcast. If you have more than 20,000 hunt dollars, you don't get free recruits anymore.
That's
another way to get people to spend their money.
And it's only 20,000, not 120,000.
Yeah, it's only 20,000. And then if you have below 5,000, you get more than just one free recruit per reroll.
That's right.
So it's going to be easier to gain money, and it's going to be harder to keep money once you get past 20,000 because you can't just keep using free hunters. Like I think I was talking to, I'm not sure if I was talking to him or if it was just like a podcast episode. I listened to all the hunt podcasts, but somebody was saying that they only run free hunters because that way they can just like slap on a melee tool, which by the way, they all have melee tools and med kits now.
Basic
so there's that too.
But save a lot of money.
Yeah, they're just like, I just slap on a med kit and a melee tool, and then I just go into the thing, and I've only spent like $10, and so it's all profit. Like, now they can't just do that anymore because now after 20,000, they've got to buy a new hunter.
That's true. Real quick, did you say 20,000 in the beginning, and I was just dumb and misheard you?
I may have said 120,000, but I don't know.
You probably meant
could be anything.
20,000 still.
I'm just making sure because sometimes I tend to mishear on this podcast, and I'm sure.
I said under 20,000, I think, and you
heard.
And
that's why.
Unless you're under 20,000, you don't get free hunters.
It just sounded really funky. Okay, because at this point, we're gonna have our viewers, especially the dedicated ones who have listened to this point. Also, love all of you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for joining this far.
They're definitely gonna compile how many times I've misheard shit, especially when Rat was talking about anisotropic filtering in the last episode, and I said anti-aliasing.
Actually, I need to make a correction. You were right, because you said anti-aliasing, and I, for some reason, was saying anisotropic filtering. Anisotropic filtering, keep that at X16. Anti-aliasing, gone. Go away. Fuck that.
It's so funny because I legitimately thought I was correct. I was saying the wrong thing the whole time. It's just funny that it worked out the way it did.
Yeah, I was wrong the whole time. You were right. And I like listening to the podcast. I'm like, oh, I think he might have been like trying to quietly correct me, and I didn't catch on. And then
total accident. Absolute total accident. But since a lot of you who do listen heavily to the podcast, I do want to acknowledge all of you in a very, very brief segment here because I appreciate all of you immensely. You've all been a very valuable asset to this podcast. I just want to give all of you a very quick shout out to a degree because there's been a couple of you who have been participating in the polls and who have commented on some of the episodes. And I just kind of want to get some of those out of the way because, like, on episode 7, we had should we do longer podcasts? Sorry, this one's longer. I'm sorry, you guys. But yeah, we shouldn't. We get way too rambly and way too random.
Too much shit, Crytek. Calm down.
On episode 8, we did our Necro change. Is Necro a balanced trait without Infernal Pact? 1 of you said no, and 4 of you said yes, which surprised me, especially, since you can only vote on the mobile app, which is also a little annoying. But a lot of you think Necromancer's balanced. I think I largely have to agree with you. I thought a slight change to make it burnable might make it a little more interesting for everyone.
Interesting.
It is interesting that it was so heavily in it being balanced favor.
The amount of times listening to that episode that I almost responded to myself driving to work was like, I wanted so bad to argue with you guys because I was like, no, it's balanced. Like, as a solo, I have to have 4 small bars to revive myself 4 times. However, if you have 3 people with all small bars, you guys can revive each other up to 12 times.
So it's confirmed Rat made 4 new accounts and responded all of those times. No, I'm just
kidding. You're the sweat lord we keep running into.
On our newest episode, episode 9, the one right before this, I asked all of you how the future of Hunt Showdown was in all of your eyes. I can't believe all of you said positive, but at the same time, I'm very happy to see everybody's more optimistic than me. I would say neutral.
I want to say positive because remember, like I keep saying,
I say neutral.
From my very beginning experience, it has continued to improve. There's been some weird things here and there, but it's on the rise, even if it is kind of dipping into some weird territory.
It does get a little strange. I won't disagree.
I mean, it had to have been getting repetitive back when before custom ammo, because I started I think a month before they added custom ammo, or 2 months or something like that. It was like, looking back, it is right before the Scrap Beak event that I started playing.
I mean,
when every gun's variant, like special ammo, was a different gun. And I can't imagine how repetitive it had to have gotten back in Alpha when it was like the Winfield, the Romero, the Sparks, the Springfield, and a couple of melee weapons. Although I will say the UI looked better, like the black and white, like wanted poster look.
I do appreciate what they're doing with UI, though. I do think it's got a good direction, but
I think they should just let you customize it to however you want. But
yeah, they should have a classic toggle that's like, if you liked how it looked in Alpha, just toggle here.
Yep. Agreed.
I do want to acknowledge the 2 of you who have commented on a couple of our episodes. Specifically, one of you who has commented on 2. I have no idea how to say this, so I am so sorry if I say it incorrectly. It might be fancy. It might just be kind of a silly name. It looks like Luton Scum or Luton Scum. You commented, "Nice work, lads," on one of our episodes. I believe it was episode 6. And then we also had episode 8 where 2 of you commented. And Luton or Luton Scum, you commented twice. You commented, "Nice work, lads. We appreciate you." And you also said, with your favorite loadout and what weapons never fail you, Quartermaster Slate and a Dulce Precision if you're feeling aggressive, but a drilling with Dum Dum and shoddy follow-up, I'm guessing a compact.
Hell yeah.
Or Silence Verily. You're kind of winning my heart in terms of the Silence Verily. That's one of my personal favorites. Or
Such
even
a good gun. I'm still so mad that I didn't get the Serpent Moon skin.
No lie. And a Slate and Dulce Precision I mean, if I'm feeling sweaty, that's perfect. But Sean, you also commented Alamo Slugs with a Scotfield. Man,
Oh yeah,
that's basically like if I'm
classic stuff.
sweaty budget, and it's perfect because especially if it's a Scotfield with FMJ and an Alamo Slugs, I
God.
couldn't agree more.
Oh yeah,
That's
such
awesome.
a good loadout.
Excellent loadouts. I
I mean,
appreciate.
I didn't comment on that one because
well done.
I was on the episode, but yeah, you've seen my Centennial Shorty and Terminus with levering build. Like it works when it
110%.
works.
And absolutely right. And I appreciate you guys interacting with the poll and the questions. I realize mobile fucking Spotify is where they they work the most. So I'm sorry, I can't really control that. I did, however, add our Discord to our about section in our Discord. So if you look at the about, it should have our description of our podcast and our Discord. Please feel free, if you listen this far, to join and pick up a game with one of the HBE members. We would love to play with you and we would love to talk with you. I have a suggestion box in our Discord right now. Add a comment of your personal opinion in the Discord. We will discuss it in the next episode. I want to thank all of you so much for listening to this episode. I'm sorry that we got a little rambly on multiple subjects. We've got a lot more that we need to discuss from this particular patch in our next episode. Look forward to us in January. So I did the ho 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 because it is December. We are not going to see you because we've got families and seasons to go through. But we all wish you a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year from every single HBE member. And we look forward to seeing all of you, hearing from you. I want to give a very small special shout out to Tushy Boy. Haha, hilarious name. Because you stopped in my stream. You were a great dude. I look forward to seeing you again. We all do. We look forward to hearing from you again. But thank you all so much for listening to this episode. We love you so much. And as our resident weasel would tell you, stay hunting.
Yep.
Gentlemen.
I was about to say it and you took my thunder, but whatever. Whatever.
All I can
say
say
it.
is
Stay hunting unless you're with family on Christmas or the holidays, whatever.
and
you
maybe take
celebrate.
a break from hunting so you can see your family. But
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you don't want to do that, that's okay too. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, if you hate your family, that's your prerogative, I guess. So.
I mean, as we established last episode, I'm 329 rats in a human suit, so like my family is in me.
Hell yeah.
So funny that it's this episode. I actually planned for next episode for Rat to be a permanent member. So please give a warm welcome to our new permanent member, Rat.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm honored to be. Like I wasn't expecting to be asked to be a permanent host. So
Trust me, it's not that much of an honor. We kind of suck, so whatever.
nah, I love you all.
I was about to say tough shit because it was gonna happen anyway. I think most people sensed it when they sensed how well the last episode went.
I mean, I would hope so. I loved it. It was a great time.
That's fun as hell.
We'll see all of you in January when these seasons pass. Stay hunting.
Love you. Bye.
Yep. See you in January and get ready for an awesome episode.
Ho ho ho.
Ho ho ho.
Ho 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 ho.
Bring the ho ho.